UFC 311 main event got announced a little bit earlier. Islam Makhachev versus Arman Tsarukyan 2. Yes, they fought already. It was Arman Tsarukyan's first fight in the UFC. And the co-main event, we have Merab versus Umar Nurmagomedov. Okay, January is going to be a massive pay-per-view. The UFC is kicking off 2025 with a crazy card in LA. Under this is Yuri versus Jamal Hill, but fuck all of those fights. These top two fights are absolute bangers and two of the best fights you can make in MMA right now. Islam Makhachev is one or two pound for pound fighter in the world, and Arman Tsarukyan has been on an absolute tear, coming off of a win over Charles Oliveira at UFC 300, split decision, but he got the dub, whether you thought he did or not. Very close fight. Before that, he starched Benil Dariush in like 15 seconds. And what else can you say about Islam Makhachev? He has been showing just how skilled he is and going out there and beating guys very cleanly. He has been getting some resistance in some of his fights, but he does end up getting the finish. Um, the only black mark you can say on his resume right now is the first Volkanovski fight. He then came back and knocked Volkanovski out. Yes, Volk probably should not have taken that fight, but Islam did that. After that, Islam Darce choked Dustin Poirier in the fifth round, I believe, of their fight. And he really showed his heart and his skill on the feet in that fight. He pieced Dustin up and had a lot of good moments on the feet to really just show how well rounded he is. He is not just a grappler how Khabib was. Yes, Khabib had very good stand up, very solid, efficient stand up, but Islam knocking people out with head kicks, a lot more well rounded on the feet and a lot more diverse. The co main event, Merab Dvalishvili coming off of a very clean and dominant performance over Sugar Sean O'Malley back in September at UFC Noche. Merab is red hot right now. He has been pretty much dominating everybody before that. He beat Cejudo in dominant fashion as well, picking him up and carrying him across the cage. Merab is just a wild man, but he's taking on Umar Nurmagomedov, who is just as red hot, if not more, than him. Umar made a drastic jump up the ranks by fighting Corey Sandhagen, and in that fight, he won a very clear decision. Were the rounds close? Yes, Corey had his moments, but throughout that fight, you could tell that Umar was on another level. That whole camp from Dagestan, the whole Nurmagomedov family, and Islam Makhachev, it's just insane to see the amount of talent that they have coming out of one area and one tight knit group of guys. Umar is an absolute animal, and I could not think of a harder matchup for Merab right now. In that division, Merab has beaten Peter Yan, who just got a great win over Davison. Obviously, Sugar Sean, Cejudo. But Umar has a style that I think is going to give Merab a lot of problems. And Merab is probably going to be a slight underdog, as crazy as that sounds, because when Merab was on the hunt for the belt, it seemed like he was going to run through everybody as he has, and he wasn't going to have a clear number one contender that could match his style. But Umar has shot through the ranks and proven otherwise. These two fights are peak MMA in my opinion. If you want to introduce someone to the sport and show them what mixed martial arts, what the UFC is all about, you should show them these two fights, because these are going to be four of the highest caliber athletes and tacticians that you could find. Merab, unlimited motor, amazing grappling. Umar, you can say the same, and very, very good striking as well. Islam, pound for pound, one or two fighter in the world. And then you have Arman Sarukian, who is just a brute with amazing grappling, who has shot his way through the lightweight division and just beat the second best lightweight in most people's opinion, and Charles Oliveira, which has gotten him this title shot. So 2025 is kicking off with an amazing event. Also announced for this card, you have Carol Rosa versus Eileen Perez. You have Johnny Walker versus Bogdan Guskov. You have Peyton Talbot versus Hani Barcelios. Peyton Talbot, another amazing prospect on the rise, knocking people out cold. Johnny Walker, just an absolute freak show of a fighter and a human being. You never know what you're going to get with that man. And Carol Rosa and Eileen Perez. Eileen Perez likes to beat people up and then twerk in their face. So we'll see what happens. And the other big fight on this card, like I said, Yuri Prochazka and Jamal Hill with two bangers at the top. This card, amazing start to 2025. I can't wait for it.